beautifuls, and welcome to your first official training as part of the Alchemy experiment. So, hopefully, you've got yourself settled in. You've got your workbook either as a Word doc or as a PDF. You've introduced yourself, and now you're ready for your first training. So, all of these sessions are going to be bite-sized so that it's not too overwhelming and you've not got loads to kind of follow or catch up on if you do get a day or two behind. So, really digestible, but at the same time, really going to give you some food for thought. And the whole purpose of these training sessions is to show you basically what is potentially getting in your way. Okay. And this is important because whenever I speak to people or I speak to potential clients and I'm like, okay, what is it you're trying to achieve? What is it that you're trying to create in your life? What does success look like for you? And then I naturally ask, well, what is in the way? Like, why haven't you achieved that yet? And the answer typically is always, well, because of me. So we are very quick to blame ourselves, which, it's not wrong. It is our responsibility for the life that we do want to create and the results that we do have. But there's so many different layers to that, and there's so many different reasons that that could be for. And it usually only takes me 5, 10 minutes and I can figure those reasons out. And then we can obviously start to alchemize that and to change that. But what I want to show you in these training sessions is what it is that is making you believe that you're stuck and that it's your fault. Okay, so you can then start to create the alchemy and start to make those shifts. So today is all about loops. Okay, and I want to show you here that you're not stuck. And I say stuck as a very loose term. But you're not feeling like you're stuck because you're lazy or because you're broken or because you're not motivated enough. The reason that you're feeling stuck is because you're going on a loop. Okay. So you might have noticed that in life that you are getting stuck in the same cycles or you see the same patterns playing out on repeat. Okay. And this can happen even though if you feel that you're doing all the things and all the right things and you're taking the actions, but you're still not seeing the results that you want or the results that you would expect when you take those actions. So some of the loops that I see are people who always sabotage just before it gets good. And I'm smiling at this one because I did this when I was getting into a relationship with Danny and it was getting good. So naturally, I tried to sabotage it and I really put him through the hoops. Obviously, I worked through it and I used my techniques, my tools, my strategies to work through that and to process that. But I also shared with him what was going on. So see if you identify with that one as well, or any of these as your patterns. Another one that can come up is not fully trusting in your instincts. A belief maybe around if you have a business that people won't pay you for what you offer, or that you're too old to make a change now, or you're finding the same patterns playing out relating to money. So perhaps you are able to generate or receive a certain ceiling when it comes to money, and that is kind of like your set point. You may also have a set point at the end of the month when your bank account is at a certain level as well. So these like energetic temperatures, if you like. Um, and you see those same patterns. So you might have like an influx of money, but then it goes out again. And you're not seeing any changes there. You might find that you have patterns showing up in your relationship. So it could be that you're attracting the same sort of person when you're dating, or your relationships may go in a certain way. So for me, I was attracting different types of guys, but my relationships would always end in them cheating. So this was a pattern that massively played out for me. And again, I had to get to the root cause of this to help shift it because it was my projections and my expectations that were coming through. And this can even play out like with your dress size. If you repeat the same patterns with your weight, your health, your exercise, it's the same thing. And where we kind of struggle with this is most of us try and change the action part. That's the bit that we focus on, right? We think, well, if I do more or if I do X, Y, Z, then that will fix it. Because logically, that is what makes sense. So we try and change the action to get different results. So we either force, we push, we hustle, we try harder, but actually the action part is the last step in the cycle. So if you only focus on changing the action, you're not actually going to shift anything. You're going to keep seeing that loop repeating itself because the cycle actually goes from thoughts to feelings to your actions. And then obviously that brings you some sort of result or consequence. So, what we want to do is rewire the thought. And therefore, we shift the emotion that impacts on your actions and behaviors naturally without trying harder or doing more. And then your results will change as well. But the other thing to be aware of with this, and we will touch on this in future trainings as well, is that your nervous system is wired for familiarity. And that means that it doesn't care if it's painful, if it's toxic, if it's not aligned to what you want. Your body just wants what it knows. What it knows is familiar. That is comfortable, even if it's not comfortable in a rational human sense. Okay, your body will naturally seek out what is familiar, what is comfortable. And that's why, your subconscious is the one that's running the show. And when we look at sabotage, it's not a problem, it's not a flaw. It's a feature of you as a human being, and your subconscious is just trying to protect you. That's all that's happening. And if you are someone who works in a similar field to me, maybe you're a coach, or perhaps working in therapies or counseling, but if you are in this field or you're stepping into this field, you're probably the biggest self-sabotager of all, because that's typically why we become a coach or a mentor or a therapist. So if you are helping your clients understand their sabotage and their patterns, you must be able to understand your own patterns too and how they're being used to protect you. Because when you discover that key and then you learn to rewire your thought and your feeling loop, then that's when you can change everything for your clients too. Okay. That's exactly why I did step into this world, because I've seen how I could change things for myself. And then I was like, hell, if that works for me, and I've been in some of the darkest, most toxic places, then I can help others shift that too. But we have to have that own awareness of our own loops before we can help others with theirs. Okay. It's exactly what I do with my private clients. It's exactly what we do in the Alchemy Academy. It's not just mindset. I'm not telling you to do more. I'm not giving you strategies as much as there are processes and tools and exercises and step by steps that you can follow. That's great, but we want to work with the root. We want to get to beneath that thought. Okay. At the moment, your old patterns might be running the show. They might be controlling your thoughts, your actions, and without you even realizing it. But hopefully, through this training, you'll now start to sort of have that realization and you'll be able to see them. And you have literally, therefore, just cracked open a whole new possibility of doing something different, which is awesome. So go through your workbook, journal through today's prompts, share in the group to get your points as well. And I would love for you to share what loops that you see you've got going on in your life right now. And hopefully, this has brought a whole new level of realization for you and how you can actually start to break that pattern and to shift yourself out of the loop and into something much more delicious and much more aligned for you. Okay, my loves, I will see you on the next one. Have a beautiful day. Mwah.